Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, October 5th, 2015. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Despite the decision taken by the National Omnibus Association, NOBA, not to give support to the teachers' union in putting up a united front to get the government to meet their respective demands, the president of the SVGTU says this is not a setback, but more so a setup by NOBA. Oswald Robinson explains to SVG-TV News earlier today that initially it was the president of NOBA who contacted him on 3 different occasions for them to work together to ensure their demands are met. The SVGTU is demanding a 1-month tax-free salary from the government, while NOBA is demanding better road conditions and a review of its proposal for a better working transport system in the country. According to Robinson, his executive was invited by the president of NOBA to a meeting on Sunday at the Haddon Hotel to discuss their respective issues and the way forward, which himself and 2 other members of the SVGTU attended.
When we got there, we realized that there was somebody from a media house there. And I asked him, now, if you are having an in-house meeting, how is it you have somebody from the media? I was a little bit uncomfortable with that. But he said, don't worry, go ahead and speak. Right? I called him a second time again and I said, there is somebody from a media house that is in the meeting. And he said, no, go ahead. So I expressed the appreciation from the Omnibus Association to invite us to the meeting. And I said to them, well, if you are in solidarity with us, then we will do the same. It is obvious that if somebody expressed publicly that they want to support you, then they invite you now to have a meeting with their membership. It is obvious that you would welcome that support and do the same. Okay? So for them now to say that they're not supporting us, I find it a little, I think it's a big setup. And I'm not afraid to say that, because I move very cautiously with the business of the teachers union. So if Mr. Bacchus starts, well, he's going to invite me and bring the media there to set me up, it's not going to work. We will press on with our demands and we will do according to what our membership says, because the membership has already given a mandate by passing a resolution to demand this 1-month compensation from the government. The resolution is general. It says to do all that is necessary. And you know that is within the confines of the law. And as a trade union, the trade union has several strategies you could use to demand from the employer what is just and what is right, what is reasonable. So if they don't want to work with us, we respect that. That's their decision. But don't tell us you're supporting us and then invite us to present our position and then you turn our back and said you're not working with us. It's not we coming to beg you to support. You call us and you first made the public statement that you're supporting us. You understand? So I want the general public to understand that the teachers union would have been invited by NOBA, Mr. Bacchus. I went to my executive and we all agreed that if we are going to get their support, to participate in their meetings.
Robinson says though he found out, like everyone else, about the decision taken by NOBA not to join the teachers union, he is still waiting to be informed officially of such a decision from NOBA president, who promised to get back to him on any decision taken after Sunday's meeting.
I spoke to the members who were present there, and then the decision that I had with Mr. Bacchus is that I would speak and then I would leave. They would make a decision and then he would call me and inform me.
And that wasn't done?
Well, he never called me up to now. I only saw it in the papers. It didn't come out yet, but you know, these things are on the internet. That they took a vote that they're not supporting us. Okay? But there was a big debate in their meetings, some for and some against. And then there was the issue of him telling the membership at the meeting that he has a meeting with the Prime Minister. So they wanted to cut his throat because he called them to a meeting. He already announced that they're going to strike. And now he's telling them the Prime Minister has been calling him all over the weekend to have a meeting with him. So when you're dealing with people like these, you have to be very careful. But it would have been good to have the minibus walking with the teachers, especially one of the things we're planning to have is a rally, and you know, transportation, the cost of transportation and all of that. We were really looking forward to work with them because they invited us, but they backed down for some reason or the other. You can't play mass and freight powder. And if you'll be a leader, you have to stand up and lead. You can't be unstable. You have to be focused. Otherwise, get out.
Attempts to get the Noble President for a response on the issue were futile as several calls went unanswered. As to the way forward for the SVG-TU, Robinson says the executive will be meeting with the Public Service Union executive this Wednesday to continue to strategize on their next course of action. He also spoke about the other unions who have signed on to the proposal for the 1-month tax-free salary.
We want the rest of the nation to understand that this is not a political warfare. We are just seeking justice, social and economic justice for our membership. What happened in that meeting, they adopted the proposal, but some of them have very close ties with the government, and I am not going to pull them down for that. Everybody have a right to be affiliated too, but I find it could be a conflict of interest for them, because if you're leading a labor organization but you're in bed with the government, then it puts you in a very bad position. Okay, you may not be able to speak objectively or to effectively represent the people who elect you to represent them. I know Mr. Bondy, somebody said, asking the government to borrow the money to pay, and he has said that. When we had our last meeting with the government, he told the Prime Minister, even if you have to borrow the money, he said, you have done similar things like this before, and therefore do that to give the workers of the country a relief. You know, and I know one representative from the National Workers Movement said we adopted the proposal, but the leader of that organization has been opposing, you know. So I find it very strange. One time people say something, in the public domain they go and say something else. So we're looking forward to this payment, and the sooner the government does it is better.
But you guys haven't put a time frame on it? Like,
we have not given any ultimatum, you know, because we are consolidating, we're still mobilizing, and we still have to assess. Because any move that the teachers union makes with the public service union and the other unions, we have to be effective. We're quite aware of the political divide that is in our country, and anything that you say, people are going to twist it and put a political face on it. That's the reality. We know some people who will not want to, they want it, but they will not want to be seen publicly advocating for it.
And today, Monday, October 5th, is being celebrated as World Teachers Day under the theme Empowering Teachers for Building Sustainable Societies. President of the SVG-TU, Oswald Robinson, says all teachers in SVG must be saluted for their continued contribution to nation building, and the theme for World Teachers Day is quite timely.
I think sometimes the society has high expectation for teachers, which is good, but sometimes there is this demand on what the teacher should do, and sometimes the demands are very unreasonable. People expect you to be superhuman or to perform miracles, but you have to operate within a context, and there are challenges which could affect you as a teacher to perform to your best. But we know the majority of our teachers have continued to excel and to perform at a very high standard. The results at CXC showed that, and at the CPA. Okay, those are just two yardsticks we could use. But teachers would have been adding value to the lives of children over the years. But it's only when it reaches to the point of national exams you really hear people talking about the performance of teachers. And so I want to urge teachers to continue to do your best, even though our salaries would have been frozen for the last 5 years. And even though at this point we are in a major battle, trying to advocate, we are still seeking that we will remain united and focused in the struggle, because after all of us would benefit and the spill-off would also be realized in the rest of the society.
The New Democratic Party's candidate for Central Leeward, Benjamin Exeter, is putting employment as a priority in his campaign. At a meeting in Barry on Saturday night, Exeter says that people are in need of jobs and an NDP government will fulfill this need.
We in the New Democratic Party give you a pledge that we will make sure that at least one person in each household will be working in a meaningful job to help to support the family. Central Leeward is also a farming community. We will help the farmers get back to the land. We'll help you with replanting. We'll help you to make sure whatever diseases that exist right now in the farming community will be eradicated. That is a pledge that we make to you tonight. Because a healthy nation that thrives, that can feed its people, take care of its people, will be a prosperous nation.
Highlighting the various road areas in his constituency that need repairs, Exeter also emphasized the need for the rehabilitation of infrastructure, which he says the ruling ULP has neglected.
Mountain Road, they made an attempt to improve Mountain Road. When we go over into Barrowley, down into 3 acres, going down into Morgan Bay, Long Wall, 3 acres, reversions, Middle Street. We don't have roads. We have potholes the size of craters. But you know what? We will fix and change those conditions when we get into office. We will, our main job is to improve the lives of Vincentians, all Vincentians, not because you told a particular party card. And infrastructure is key. And anyone will tell you that when you put money into infrastructure, it helps to revolve and it helps the growth and spur the growth of the economy.
And opposition leader Annie Muster says an NDP government will help restore the banana industry, which he says is the backbone of SVG's economy. In giving an historical review of the industry from 1994 to the present, at a meeting in Barry on Saturday night, Muster says that the banana industry is not dead, as persons in the ruling Unity Labour Party would have persons to believe.
Because I believe bananas will form the backbone of our economy once again. It is something that will give us a lift off while we work to develop all the other areas like tourism and so on. And this government now is responsible for the debt of the banana industry. And they must pay the price for that debt by voting them out, getting rid of them at the next general election.
Muster says everything is in place for the re-establishment of the banana sector, noting that at one time, this country earned just over $110 million in 1 year from bananas.
We exported from St. Vincent 79,000 tons of bananas in 1 year, and we earned $111 million for that 79,000 tons. You hear that? Bananas alone, you know, earned $111 million in a single year because we sold 79,000 tons of bananas to the Great Britain. So our industry was building up. I used to have to leave here every 6 weeks to go to England because I was chairman of the new company that bought geese. We own 50%, Pipes own 50%, but the Windwards were the chairman of the company. It's from that our banana industry had paid.
The winner of the 2015 Miss Unity Youths is Rosebank resident Shaniqua Laborde. The pageant was held on Saturday night at the Victoria Park, where Laborde won the sportswear, interview and evening wear segments of the show, as well as the Miss Photogenic title. Addressing the gathering at the event, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves took the opportunity to commend the organizers of the pageant, describing the event as very well executed. Additionally, the Prime Minister encouraged the young people to ensure that they are registered to vote in the upcoming elections and said that judging from the large turnout, his administration, the ULP, can in fact take all the electoral seats.
This event was organized mainly by the Unity Youths, the young people of Labour, and I want to congratulate them. This show is so well organized, I think CDC should hire Labour. I want to remind you that even though we are here in our thousands, I don't think Victoria Park has seen a Queen show with such a large crowd. In fact, this is a Soca Monarch crowd plus. And this show is so great that it is pointing towards a victory. The point though, you got to register to vote. You got to look on the list, make sure you're registered, and go and be registered. Once Labour people come out to vote, once Labour people register and come out to vote, we're going to win all the seats on the mainland and go for the Southern Grenadines, and we come for the North.
The first runner-up in the pageant went to Divana Providence, while the second runner-up position was captured by Miss South Windward, Zone Seymour. Bernetta Harry was the third runner-up, representing South Central Windward, while the fourth runner-up position went to Miss North Windward, Arian Osment. Here is a look at some of the notable performances at Saturday's event.
Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts. Flight 784 is about to land at the Argyle International Airport.
Ahora taxi man ya quiet so. Taxi man ya NDP. Taxi man ya NDP. Taxi man a Labour now. Labour me say. You get me every day. I'm talking in Canada and life's so nice in a Vinci. Well, I could really tell Labour loves you.
Comrades of Labour, all hail Caesar. All hail Caesar. Support Caesar, the only choice for South Central Windward. Comrades, let us be very clear tonight. Time after time, the NDP has put forward Annie Eustace as their candidate for Prime Minister of this country. Labour has the skills and the talent to provide good paying, decent jobs for the young people of this country. ULP is the party that will grant access to young entrepreneurs to start their own business, make their own money, and contribute to the betterment of this country. You know that women run the engine room of the ULP. The absence of women on the slate of the NDP means a spineless NDP, a toothless NDP, and ultimately a powerless NDP. I see candidates on the NDP platform dancing on each other's backs. I hear NDP male candidates comparing ladies to hens and laughing about it. This is no time for laughing. In East St. George, Camilo knows elections are a serious matter.
Everyone in this country knows that Ralph Gonsalves is a brilliant man with love for the hardworking people in this country. We know Ralph Gonsalves. He has proven himself and to us, and he has been tested and tried in the pressure cooker of the greatest global economic crisis since the Great Depression. North Central Windward knows that Ralph. knows that Ralph Gonsalves always does his homework before taking any action. He always examining an issues.
Truth be told, if it was not for ULP educational policies, we would not have such qualified, skilled, and educated young candidates like Carlos James on the Labour platform today. Comrades, I am a proud product of the education revolution.
The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force is investigating 2 killings over the weekend. The first incident took place early Saturday morning in the Prospect Belvedere area, in which a resident of Kettles was killed after he reportedly shot at members of the local constabulary. Preliminary investigations are that police officers were on duty at Hoffer's Ranch, Belvedere, a popular nightclub, when they heard gunshots in the vicinity shortly after 5:30 a.m. A man was seen shooting at another man and the police gave chase. According to the police report, the gunman, who was later identified as Rawlson Williams of Kettles, started firing shots in the direction of the police, who returned fire. Subsequently, Williams's body was discovered near to a .35 Magnum revolver in some nearby bushes. And on Sunday night around 7 p.m., Jerry Williams, a resident of Murray's Village, formerly of Redemption Shops, was gunned down while walking home. He reportedly received a gunshot wound to the back of his head. He died on the spot. A joint operation by the Coast Guard and the Narcotics Division on Friday has led to the arrest of 3 St. Lucia nationals on 3 separate drug-related charges at Larkai Bay in the North Leeward area. Sheldon Joseph, Javi Christopher, and Lindian Charles were intercepted while they were traveling in a speedboat, resulting in the discovery of approximately 400 pounds of marijuana. When the trio appeared at the Kingston Magistrate Court today, Defense Counsel Grant Connell made an application for their bail. However, Court Prosecutor Eglin Richards came up with a strong objection, stating that if the defendants were granted bail, they will flee the country. The magistrate upheld his objection and remanded the trio into custody until October 12, 2015, when a date will be set by Chief Magistrate Ration Brong for the preliminary inquiry, as the charges were laid indictably. Welcome back. We have some news just coming to hand, and we hear that the president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, will pay a one-day visit to this country tomorrow. President Maduro is expected to arrive here at around 10:30 a.m., after which he will head to the Argyle International Airport for a site visit, where he will also hold a press conference with Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. The president will then go to the residence of the Prime Minister for lunch, following which a bilateral meeting will be held between both men. President Maduro is expected to depart the country around 2:20 p.m. Leslie Williams, a 97-year-old woman of Rose Hall, is advocating the importance of an education as she returns to class today after leaving school at 17 years old when her mother died. When SVG-TV visited the home of Williams and her daughter Ellen, the eager student says she is anticipating her first day of class at the Rose Hall Government School. Proudly showing off her exercise book and pen, Williams says her adult education classes in English begins at 4 to 6 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays, while her math classes are on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Williams, who, while in formal school, was always at the top of her class and was poised for a scholarship, had to drop out after her mother died. She said, being the oldest of 9 children, she had to take care of her younger siblings. The energetic woman says later on she was a mother at 22 years and had to provide for 6 children, and school was never a priority. Williams, however, admitted that she was always interested in learning and want to return to the class to compare the methodology of her old stint in class to the modern day times. Williams says she is taking advantage of the opportunity to go back to school so that she would be able to help her grandchildren and other children in the neighborhood who may need help with their homework.
When I heard about the adult education, I said I would like to No, I had to find out if it's the same subjects that I know that these children are failing, because then the two subjects, they were my favorite in school. Well, Hayden, I heard about the adult education. Ellen even said to me, Ma, you're old, and even you go to the classes, you would not get a job. I said, girl, I am not thinking that way. I want to find out if it's the same subjects that I thought I was taught in school that these children are failing.
The student, who will be a centenarian in 3 years' time, is encouraging others, especially in her community, to utilize the opportunity to learn and not to let fear or pride get in their way of getting an education.
After your mind is made up, you can do anything, and determination seldom fail. So I would encourage anybody, old or young, to embrace the opportunity, because there are many persons in Rose Hall, I believe, can think, but you know, some of them, I believe they are ashamed to come forward and embrace the opportunity. But I'm going to give it a try, by the grace of God assisting me.
Meanwhile, the 97-year-old's daughter, Ellen Williams, says she is proud of her mother for being willing to learn despite her age, and that she always has the right attitude to life.
It is good that at 97, she still has such a good IQ. You know, over the years, she would have had her difficulties, and I think she's one of Rose Hall's strongest women, because her husband died when my twin sister died, were only 1 year and 3 months. And she was left alone to take care of, well, one son was big at that time, was already an adult. He's now deceased, and she was left to take care of the 5 children, not having a job. She had some mountain lands, and she had to go way up in the mountain, and she would bring home almost a sack of breadfruit for sale.
As credit unions across SVG prepare to host a number of activities to commemorate Cooperative Month, the SVG Cooperative League, the umbrella body for cooperatives in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, donated $30,000 to the Dominica Cooperative Societies League in an effort to live out the philosophy of this year's theme, People are Helping People. The president of the SVG Cooperative League, Kelvin Pompey, took the opportunity to express the support of the unions to the people of Dominica as they work to rebuild their communities and livelihoods in the wake of the devastation caused by the passage of Tropical Storm Erica.
Organize this month to celebrate the cooperative difference, our proud cooperative heritage, and the wonderful opportunities credit unions and cooperatives offer its members. This money to assist in the relief efforts of the Dominica cooperative movement in the aftermath of the tragedy. The SVG cooperative movement stands in solidarity with the cooperative movement and people of Dominica, and will continue to provide support and practical assistance wherever possible.
Pompey took the opportunity to provide an outline of the activities scheduled for this month and urges Vincentians to join or to become members of the various credit unions in this special time of celebration.
Some of the highlights of the cooperative program for this month will include a cooperative march and economical service on Tuesday the 6th October. That is, the cooperative movement would march through the streets of Kingston starting at 9:30 and would end at the Methodist Church, where there would be a church service commencing at approximately 10:15 a.m. There will also be a National School Cooperatives Awards on Tuesday, October 13th at the Peace Memorial Hall. Additionally, individual credit unions will be holding activities throughout the month. GECU will host its annual Members Appreciation Day on Thursday, the 15th of October, which is International Credit Union Day. And the Cooperative Month program of activities will climax with the police, cooperative credit unions, karaoke, and domino competition on Friday 30th at the police canteen in Kingston.
More details on the activities can be had from the League's website. And Pompey further adds that SVG has been able to find a place at the top of the global ranking of countries with a penetration rate in credit union membership of 94%, adding that since the amalgamation of the 12 cooperatives to 4, these unions are now in a much better position to give higher valued service to their members and also to ensure the maximization of the shareholdings of members. He says, with such success, it is the best time to become a member of a credit union, which he says helps to alleviate poverty and improve livelihoods.
And I would like to take this opportunity to invite everyone to join with the cooperative movement all over this country as we host our Cooperative Month of activities. Brothers and sisters, I am quite proud and pleased to be part of this movement that has been making such a tremendous and positive impact on the lives and the well-being of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I would like to take this opportunity, therefore, to invite persons who are not yet members of a credit union and a cooperative. You are missing out quite a lot. It does not take much to join, nor do you have to expend any significant resources to maintain your membership, but the benefits are all yours.
The Vincentian Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the VSPCA, celebrated World Animal Day on Sunday with an open clinic for residents in and around the Calico area. Member of the VSPCA who spearheaded the clinics, Trudy Arthur, says the aim of the organization is to reduce the population of unwanted animals in SVG.
Conducting a spay and neuter clinic, tying off dogs and cats to prevent from producing more puppies and kittens. We want to reduce the population and eventually get to a point where we only have wanted animals on the island. Our clinic will be in Layo in 2 weeks' time.